here. And remember, guys, we record these meetings and then we upload it to YouTube, and then they are again uploaded to the Street Text Academy in the section of Mastermind. So there'll always be the replays there available for you. So just don't worry. They're always here, especially if we get onto something that you want to watch over and over again. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And can you guys all see that? Perfect. Okay, let's start with Jess. So Jess was not able to make it today, but she just wanted to give you an update. She will be here next week. So just mute yourself, guys, unless you're just mute yourself if you're not talking, so we don't all hear your cell phone. Okay, here's Jess. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Hi, Street Text family. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick update. This is Jessica McIntyre here, and I am with Exit Realty in Bend. And I just wanted to give you guys an update on my success with the Street Text. So far, I have been really getting a lot of traction on my ads, and it's been really amazing. I have 2 signed contracts, listings that are going live in 2 weeks. I've had 3 listing appointments this week so far. It's Tuesday. And I also have another one on Thursday. Street Text has been amazing. It's been a great tool. I was able to run my ads while I was on vacation. I've been with them for about 7 weeks, but I was gone for about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I still have been able to generate 126 different emails and different people that have reached out wanting to get that free home valuation. That means I have been in front of 126 different people and been able to get my name out there to them and then follow up with them. It's really important that you do the follow up and the follow through. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. I really am looking forward to going back to the webinars next week. Unfortunately, this week, like I said, I've been busy with listing appointments and inspections, but next week I will be back in class. So you guys have a great one, and thank you, Street Text. Hi, Street Text family.
Hold on. I'm going to turn this off.
I just wanted to kind of give
it automatic replays. Okay, so Steve and John, I see you guys. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Here, oh, you got to unmute yourself. We did it at the same time.
I got it. You guys can hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, here's Steve and John. They're at the F8 Facebook conference, so they got some exciting news to share with us.
Yeah, well, just, thanks for letting us join. There's going to be a little bit of background noise, so sorry if it's hard to hear it all. But yeah, we're at the F8 conference here. So this is the Peter Envy. Looks like you're sharing your screen. But it's a good conference. This is the one where Facebook announces all of the development changes, all the big updates for the year. You're gonna notice a bunch of changes on Facebook in the next little while.
Yeah, so you can bring a whole new UI, new design.
Yeah, so really, yeah, when you're on there, they're gonna be focusing on communities and groups a lot more. I mean, Facebook has had a number of obviously issues in the last little while, so for them, they're going private focused, but it's exciting. All the stuff that they're working on is super exciting. Mark, I'm not sure if you're able to share that screen or change that screen at all.
I'm trying to. I'm going to see what's just remove them from here.
Oh, good.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, no, it's been a great conference. So I think the big things for you guys, like bringing back for our community, there's going to be huge changes on the Messenger side. So Messenger is really getting integrated with all of the other apps, be it Instagram and WhatsApp. So it's all connecting to one place. And mostly where we are in North America, obviously, Messenger itself is really the big platform to connect. But they're making it lighter, faster, and I really see a future that Marcus always talks about where Facebook is really the CRM for all of your clients that are connecting, and they're going to be making huge changes to that to make that, just more prominent. So I think Messenger is going to be a bigger component of what we're doing. There are going to be some algorithm changes, obviously, that we are adapting to, and as always, that's why we come to these events to always make sure that we're on top of that. But yeah, John, what are your takeaways?
Yeah, so Messenger, WhatsApp, they're going to making the business more front and center in the conversation, which is it's really a good thing. If I forget the stat exactly, but basically millions of businesses are starting conversations with people every single minute on Facebook.
Yeah, actually, it was millions of people are reaching out to businesses on Facebook every minute.
I didn't realize it's huge. So they're really trying to make that front and center. They're still trying to pull more of the businesses into the WhatsApp experience, into the Instagram experience, and into the Messenger. So Instagram's gonna have a few updates coming along here. One of the things cool, so just the camera screen's gonna change. So when you're using Instagram now, you're not gonna have to just post your photos or videos. You're gonna be able to make announcements, those kinds of things. And they're gonna change the whole buying experience on Instagram. And you're gonna see that rolling out here. Basically, I think you should be able to download it now, or shortly.
They're even removing likes on Instagram, so they're leveling the playing field for everyone to make it a better social experience.
Completely changing. Like but Instagram's become more and more impactful to your business. Messenger's gonna become more impactful to your business. And then as people roll out between WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram, it's gonna be a single place for all your messages. On Messenger, so Messenger is going to become more central to how you're managing. So we're going to try to do more to integrate Messenger into Street Text moving forward as well.
Yeah, and groups are going to be a real big focal point, like getting communities. I mean, there's obviously a lot of communities. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already in a Facebook group of some sort. You're obviously in our insider group. You may even have other groups that you're involved in.
You know, a possible opportunity there, even creating a small community of your own within the city, maybe.
Yeah.
Spark. There's communities are going to become the middle icon in your Facebook moving forward. So if you have a community, if you can do that, it's going to become more integral, because Facebook realizes that people want to have private connections, but they also want to have connections with their communities.
So, yeah, so I think I can't read the comments. Marcus, you can let me know, but feel free to ask any questions. I think Sean.
Yeah. So he said, did I hear that likes total will no longer be publicly shared or viewable on Instagram?
On Instagram, that's right. So you could still click on it and count them out if you really want it on your own.
And you'll see your own metrics.
Yeah, you'll see your own metrics and your own stats, but people won't see the likes anymore on Instagram. And they're just really trying to level that out. And I think that they just realized that there was too many people that were dominating it, and they're just really trying to make it a better experience for everyone. And I'm trying to think of some of the other big updates. So the community one is big. Like, for those of you that haven't done it, we've spoken about it a little bit, and I know that there's lots of people that can probably teach really good on it, but if you don't yet have a neighborhood community on Facebook, I highly recommend setting one up. So it might be just, you could literally, like, your farming area or maybe a couple farming areas that you're marketing to, you should really go out and create a community around that and begin to invite in your leads and people that are coming through your system.
Emily Ching has a group, so that there's going to be people that you can kind of pick their brain.
I think from what I saw here and the way that Facebook's really going to emphasize a lot of search towards groups in the future, because they really want people to be connected. I think this is a great opportunity that if you don't have one and you've been interested in starting one, I think this is a great time to start one and just begin to just build your community on Facebook. And also, to be honest, it's a really great idea anyways, because it reminds you the same stuff that we're going to be doing for all the retargeting, be it like the market updates and the videos, all that stuff you want to share into your group anyways. So it's just another channel. It's another place that is going to allow you to do the same thing twice, and really just be in front of your community on a basis. So I can't read that question, but maybe.
Yeah. So it says, advertising wise, will there be a way to make an ad for Facebook and Instagram at the same time?
Actually, yeah, and we can already do that. So that's not a problem. We can already do that. And we're going to be running a lot more Instagram ads through 2019 for you guys as well.
Absolutely.
So, but we can already do that. That's not a problem.
Awesome. Cool, guys. Well, now's your chance. If you have any other questions, ask Steve or John. They're getting back to the conference.
Yeah, we're still here all day. So if you got other questions, you can always ask Marcus. He can relay them back.
I'll post them in the insider group.
And we're going to do a much more detailed follow-up when we come back, when we've digested everything. There's a lot going on here. So it's just a matter of almost getting back on the airplane and then just starting to organize everything that we've learned, what we can bring back for you guys, the community. So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us join. And we're going into day 2. So we'll keep you guys posted.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right. I got one more message I'm going to share, and then I'm going to start calling on you. And I'm probably calling my big hitters like Leon Harper first, and guys that I know will speak up. And I got a couple of you. Sean, I might even call you out, even though you're not prepared, because you told me last time you were going to do it. You know what I mean? Okay, now let me share my screen. I don't know how we had that screen share coming. That was crazy. Okay. So Here's Richard's message.
Hey, Street Text family, it's Richard Crafts with Keller Williams Capital City here in Salem, Oregon. Marcus wanted me to send you guys a quick video. Been with Street Text roughly a little over a month. I believe I started towards the end of March. I had a 2-week free trial. Marcus extended it graciously due to the fact that I was in between a commission check. But anyways, been with Street Text, a month and a half, basically. I think I've gotten 340 leads that have come through. Don't have my computer in front of me, so that's just kind of spitballing, but it's roughly right about that. I have my first listing appointment tomorrow. It's 23 acres. I go and drop off CMAs to not all the addresses, but mainly the ones that I have contact information for. I'm a solo agent, so I can't get to all the addresses, so I just leverage it and I refer those out. But I got my first listing appointment tomorrow for the 23 acres, like I was saying, and basically the email communication is the only communication I've had with this lady. I dropped off a CMA at her doorstep to her granddaughter, I think, or her daughter-in-law, one or the other. But she was impressed with the CMA, and we just kind of had some dialogue back and forth, and she finally, decided to take the plunge after speaking with the county and got some information that she needed to make that plunge. And tomorrow I'm actually going to go sit down and meet with them. And so there's really no excuse to work these leads. You have their address. They're not going to move anywhere. You know exactly where they are. So go to them. Take it to their doorstep. Find your why. Use your why. Mine's pretty strong. I just had a baby. I got another one coming. So, find your why. Use that to motivate you. But, happy hunting. These leads are there for the taking. Don't make excuses. Go after them and get them. Have a great day, guys. Hey, Street Text.
All right. So, I like Richard because Richard, that's the truth. Like, for all you guys, I think it comes down to, have to know your why. And if you're not willing to get in front of these guys, it's going to be a hard one for you, no matter what you look at. These leads are all coming in at different layers, some producing addresses, some emails, some full information. But at the end of the day, if your why is not big enough, you won't spend the time to get in front of these guys, nor create a CMA or any sort of letter or mailer or template, let alone door knock like he's doing. So the thought process for me is, I want to encourage you guys to leverage technology. Like when Steve and John just said that everything is moving more towards Messenger, then we need to look at every single opportunity to get face-to-face with these guys, including the door knocking situation. And I think it all starts with how you set up that. In many ways, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can set up a mailer and send it and let them know, hey, I'm going to be in the area next week. I'm just going to introduce myself, right? Hey, Logan, I like going off this whole door knocking idea. Tell us a little bit about the experience you had with one of your clients recently.
For me, one thing that one of my clients has been doing that's been working really well was come up with a nice little lead behind. So she was using this for sending mailers, door knocking alike. And essentially what's worked really well is the ability to go into a local establishment, had a bunch of gift cards printed off that was for that local establishment. Now, obviously, she did all the printing. She did everything herself that way. But what she was able to do is she was able to go in and get coffee cards that were able to be essentially paid off as they're redeemed. Now, we've all sent gift cards and things of the like, I'm sure. Now, how frustrating is it to say print off, say $502 coffee cards for $1,000 and having no idea the effectiveness of them, right? So this is something that I used to do back a long time ago myself as well. Is I would put a tracking number, so on each and every one of these cards, 101, 102, whatever. Then I would write down the address that I was either delivering it to or sending it off by mail, so I knew exactly which number went to which address. Those would then get redeemed at the place that I'd already negotiated. And it was always a local mom and pop establishment, never a big chain restaurant, something that I'm hoping that was either their favorite place to go get coffee or ice cream, whatever it is already, or better yet, they've never been there before, because that connects that emotional connection to myself and this establishment, right? So what would happen then is on a monthly basis, I would go in and what this lady's doing as well, and pay off my bill. And you're only then paying off the cards that have been redeemed. But then once again, I look and I get all those cards and I say, okay, number 101, 105, 107, they've all been redeemed. Okay, who were those people? Right? Then I'd look through my spreadsheet and I'd say, boom, 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 boom. I have a reason to follow up with them. I would either door knock them if they were an address only, if I had no more information, or, you know, if I had their phone number, email, whatever, I'd call them and say, hey, so what did you get? You know, like if it was a $5 coffee card or something like that, you know, did you get the London Fog? I love that place. That was a great whatever. Next time you're there, you should try the blah, 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 whatever it is. But once again, what I would get back quite frequently, even from an address only, is I'd get a phone call. And I'm yet to check and see exactly what's happening with my other client here to see how well it's working for her. But what I used to get almost all the time, even from an address only, is I'd get a phone call saying, like, I can't believe I've lived in this town for the last 50 years and I've never even seen that place. Right? Like this is my new favorite place. I'm going to be sending all my friends there. So the establishment itself did, really well with that. But for me personally, the connections I got on a personal level from that was absolutely incredible. And it's something that, once again, we're all in that gifting mentality. We all most likely do things like that. And how effective are your ad dollars? When you're doing that, we have no way of tracking that unless you are doing exactly that. Like I said, simple tracking number on the back of that card. You can print it off yourself, put yourself on the front, the business on the back. Done deal. You go in once a month, you pay off that charge. You're good to go. The other thing that I used to do in that same establishment is I used to actually show up there every Tuesday and Thursday between noon and 2. That's where I went and had coffee and everything like that. And I had a little sign made up that said, quiet please, realtor at work. Most people understood that it was a joke. Obviously, what realtor doesn't want to be approached when they're in a coffee shop, right? But I'd go and I'd leave my Visa at the front, and anytime the barista had a good feeling about somebody, basically she'd pay for the coffee and say, go speak to Logan in the corner over there, right? And they'd come up and whatever. Just little silly reasons to spark conversations. But I became known for hanging in that little coffee shop between those hours, and the locals, which obviously there are many of, would start meeting people almost for me. I'd walk in at 11 and be like, oh, somebody just left. I gave them your number, or they said they're going to come back and talk to you. But you build this little bit of excitement, almost as silly as it sounds. But choose something. Find your cool little establishment that you can refer to everybody. Something like the little hole in the wall that has that unique feel to it. Something that you think maybe, like I said, people haven't discovered already in your little community, and really kind of go to town with that. There's a lot of cheap and darn near free ways of doing that. Once again, what's a couple $100 a month if you're listing homes from it.
Well said. Logan, I kind of like that idea too, with what Steve and John were talking about, setting up a community page, because that could be a big win, where you're kind of setting up the community page to be your favorite local establishments. And with that, you can create relationships and do that vendor idea as well. But I'll push them towards a free way of giving back. And I know that's a lot to handle or consider, but eventually this is what you're trying to do with your social media model, is be an influencer of it.
Well, think of it this way. I mean, from the community aspect, you can be posting something, if there's a local farm fair coming up, if there's a local event coming up that's super cool. It doesn't always have to be real estate related. That's the end goal and that's the angle. But you can put things up there that other people are just interested in coming to. Then they're going to start inviting their friends to this page. You're the moderator. So then if somebody gets invited that happens to be another agent, oh, guess what? Sorry, not approved. You're not invited into this group. I'm sorry, I'm the realtor here. But that's the general idea, is you get to be the one who vets these people as they come in to join this community. You're building and growing upon that. You're in charge of it. You're always posting something that's relevant to the market. You can post your monthly market updates in there. You can be that place where people trust your advice. They're coming and they can ask questions about the community, about, tax, whatever it may be. You can become that person. You can also start inviting other local professionals, right, to be part of that group, whether it be lenders or anybody else you may want to be part of that group, to be a source of answers for your local community. And once again, you highlight local businesses, you highlight anything that you think are going to continue to bring people in and increase engagement. So it can be a little work, especially to get it off the ground, but I certainly believe it would be worth it.
Everything goes. Marley, you're up.
Yeah, hey everyone. So I actually had stopped my campaigns about a month ago or a little over that. But what I was doing is after I sent the initial, letter and follow up, I have like a monthly newsletter to my farm area. And so what I found out was that some of the addresses were in my farm area that I was getting. So what I would do is I would just kind of order a couple extra newsletters, or the ones that I got extra, I would actually just mail them directly. Because what I usually do is do EDDM to a specific area. But in the newsletter, to what he was saying before, I have a like a trivia contest giveaway, or giveaway a gift card. And so the last 2 months or 6 weeks that I hadn't been on, I actually got 2 calls from the newsletter from people that I was mailing to that were from Street Tech. So I found another kind of touch point after, because after your second mailing to them, your first, let's say, call, and then your first actual CMA, it's usually just email follow-up. But to have the email follow-up along with the newsletter, and so what happened is they called for the trivia, and so that was my way to get in front of them when I had to drop off the gift card and say, hey, you came in, someone asked, oh, how did you get my, address, or where did it come from? I was like, oh, well, you had requested a CMA. Oh, I forgot I did that. Yeah, we're thinking about it. So it just really opened up a natural conversation to get me in front of the door, and it wasn't just this like cold door knocking. This door knocking thing, they had now realized that, oh, this is a real person sending them a newsletter. They're in the community. And so neither of them were super ready. But at the end of the day, like, I know it's something I can follow up with them, and now they'll be a little more welcome. It'll be a warm call when I do it. So anybody who is already doing a newsletter, I think it's a great way to, or a postcard or something like that you're doing to a farm area, and it's just a good way to kind of double up on not only Facebook but also like a mailer that you're already doing.
Thanks, Marley. That was great. And I don't know if you guys have gotten to the academy, and I've shared her video many times, but she does a great job with her bomb on the automation side to let people know, hey, this is my Facebook. I'm going to send you a message. I always make sure everybody gets a chance to meet me. And I think that's no different on the mailers and newsletters that you send. Try to get that back to pointing back to your brand, your personal Facebook, that know, like, and trust model, the influencer, getting back to the Facebook message component of this as well. Remember, most of you guys have the ability to pull up tax records, and you cannot, just like Richard goes up and shows up at the home, what is it going to hurt by sending you a message? Like, that's even less intimidating, and it's an easy way to start the conversation, an intro to what's next. So I think a lot of us need to look at the ability that we have with the technology available and make sure that we're leveraging every angle, right? Because at the end of the day, that no begins as soon as they see your brand. But if they never see your brand, let alone your face, it's going to get lost in translations. And in many ways like that, that's the same person that sends, the agents that send mailers and they get tossed in the garbage. Don't be that guy or lady. I'm just saying, like, you got to create influence, and that is going to be about leveraging newsletters, mailers, marketing. If I share my screen, for example, it's going to be like, if you send something out in the mail, do some colors, right? A postage stamp. Make sure your picture's in there. In many ways, this is an old thing, but now, bring it back to your personal Facebook profile as well, and say, hey, send me a friend request and a quick message. If you ever have any questions, I'm here to help. I'll give you quarterly updates. Do something that would just really convince them to use you. And if you drop in like one of those ideas, like the coupon code or a vendor card that only gets redeemed if they take it to the store, that's going to leave a lasting impression, guys. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I want to call on Julie, if we can see. Julie, where's your screen here? If you want to go ahead and share now, and this is kind of what I was mentioning and alluding to before. I had actually mentioned this to Julie, as I thought it was such a great idea, and she said, oh, I've already done that. So before I'd even given her this idea, she'd already gone ahead and done exactly what I was suggesting. So if everybody can see Julie's screen here, she's going to go ahead and show us kind of the cards that she's created, and it's the exact same thing. I'm not sure if she's got them numbered necessarily, but the fact is that she's been able to get a local establishment on board. She's got cards that are only then paid upon redemption. So go ahead and tell us about that, Julie.
Hey guys. Well, what I did is I was trying to keep everything as cheap as possible because I'm a newer agent, and I'm just starting out. But my husband is actually a lender, and he had already got the plastic cards with his name on it. And our local establishment, The Drip, they do coffee cards. And so I went in and said, hey, can you do this for me as well? And so he's exclusively doing it, me as a realtor, my husband as a lender. And I went and I got these from the Dollar Tree. They're just plain blank envelopes. And then on the front, I put free coffee or tea on it. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
And then and my handwriting is horrible. So I paid one of my son's friends to do the card for me. But it looks like this. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me try to get it closer.
Use the speaker view if you want to see it closer, guys. The speaker view on the top right.
Let's see.
That looks great.
But I can read it to you. It says, ready to buy or sell, give me a call. I'd love to help. And then it just pretty much says, I hope you found it, the valuation helpful. Call me if you need help with any questions or anything like that. So I did that. And then here is the Drip card. And the way we're able to keep track of it is I just write my name on the back. So anybody which Logan had a good point about keeping track of them with the addresses. So I'm going to start doing that because that's obviously a good idea and a point of reference where I can make an additional conversation with them. But I do this, the coffee card, along with my business card in this little letter, and I attach it to the CMA and then my other letter just for like legal purposes. So that's how I do it. And then I put it in this envelope, which is huge. It can't go in, it won't be missed. And I mail it. That's how I started doing it. But I just started on Monday. So this is actually my second day with Street Text other than my free trial. So we're going to try it. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. I mean, and that's the purpose of these meetings as well, right, guys, is that we like to see what other people are trying. It's really important to try new things, right? So obviously, as this is working for you, Julie, the more you're able to come back and just share what's been going on, if it's been, gaining traction, if you're able to have those follow-up conversations. And once again, I can't stress the importance enough of just putting a simple number on it. You may not want to put their address necessarily, but if you just put 101, 102, 103, just number them as you go, write down who got sent what card, you have a perfect reason to follow up with them afterwards. Just wanted to make sure, that you did enjoy that place. What were your thoughts, right? And it's not hey, did you think about selling your home again? It's just a quick check-in regarding something completely different that obviously works its way to that part of the conversation, right?
I like that.
Well, exactly, right? Like, what did you enjoy? What did you have? Okay, great. Oh, and hey, by the way, I'm still in real estate, So, I think that's going to work great for you, and we'd love to hear the updates.
Okay.
Does anyone else have some experience like that they'd like to share? Either with mailers we're experimenting with addresses. I know a couple people were talking about Canva. Feel free to tell us a little bit about Canva if you think that'll be a great alternative. We'd love to hear it. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share your story.
This is Rowena. I'm just gonna go. I talked to you about this a little bit, but the class that we talked about last week, I was able to get in the classes, and so my branding color is orange. So everything I send out, it's got like something orange in it, and so these are the letters from what's her name, Diana Swan.
Donna.
Swansea,
Donna. Yes, and so this is the letter that she sends out right after. So I got these letters and I've just been sending that out. And then for the I made these on Vistaprint. Once again, it's orange with my branding color, and it just says how much is your home worth, and it's got my information at the bottom. And then I write her note on the back of it. Hi, if you'd like to know the value of your home, I'm happy to help. And then I put her link that she puts a little postcard link at the bottom. So I bought a website, receivemypropertyvalue.com, instead of linking the street text that longer email. So I just have that, receivemypropertyvalue.com. They can go that, and it takes them straight to my landing page. and they can follow up with that in there. So I just started this, like I said, last week is when we had that. So I did all the courses in it, and so I'm just starting to do that.
Awesome. That is so cool. Keep us updated on how's that working for you, okay? So who else who wants to share? Marty just shared with us. She's got this is her 4th listing since January. Anybody else want to share some wins? We'd love to hear from you.
I did have a listing appointment. I totally forgot about that. I had my first listing appointment from Street Text.
How did that go? What kind of lead was it?
It was, what do you mean, what kind of lead?
I mean, was it a lead with an email, phone number? Did they give you information about their home?
Oh yes. Yeah, he had his phone number, everything in there. He texted me. We had up here in Nebraska, we had a flood, and he got displaced and has to move to Missouri. And so he needed to move and wanted to find out, and saw the ad and hooked up with the ad. And so he texted me Friday night, and then I had the listing appointment Saturday at 1, and I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Awesome. Keep us updated. We love to hear that. Marty, 4 listings. Let's hear it from, if you don't mind, just unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got those listings, or any one of those stories.
So I got, the first one was within my trial, so that was pretty cool, and just has been sort of snowballing. Sold that one. I got another one that I actually was able to text with her as though I was Julie. And I really, really want you guys to do an app so that, because I'm on the go, I'm very seldom sitting in front of my computer, but that was really cool that I was able to just text with her right away. That one actually turned into 3 listings, house, a lot, and then a to be built on the lot with a builder. And then this one, it was just a come list me that he responded to one of my auto drip emails, not the first one either. So I had sent him a email evaluation, and that was probably about 2 weeks ago, and he just came back at me and said, come list me. So I did that yesterday, but it's been going pretty good.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. You guys, I mean, it's activity. Marcus, you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been with Street Text for about 2 weeks now. Got 99 leads as of today, which is pretty fantastic. I've communicated with a couple of people via email, and hopefully I'm going to get a listing out of it soon. Marcus,
what about the Easter? That was a fun thing that you were doing, dropping off those. Tell us a little bit about what you did there.
The Friday and Saturday before Easter, I egged a bunch of houses. Had a sign made up that I stuck in their yard that said, "You've been egged by the Marcus Savalio team," and got my little kid, and we went on Facebook Live and put Easter eggs in everybody's houses for all the homes that I sold in the past year.
That's amazing. I mean, you guys see, that's outside the box thinking. That's the same with holidays. Think about ways you can give back and do it in such a fun way with Facebook Live with your kids. Just think about ways that would create an influence. And that's Marcus. That was an excellent story. Josette, go ahead.
Hey guys. I am sitting in my church right now. I have to preach tonight, so I'm working on that. But I wanted to just share my success. I've been with Street Text for a while, and my first try, which was like last year, I did get 1 listing, and I gave you the story about that. I had to give that up to my partner. Bad experience with the partner, not the Street Text, but I still count that as one because it came through Street Text. And I do have a confirmed listing. I got that yesterday, actually. And this was from a just curious person. I actually follow up with all my leads. I spent like a couple hours every day just going through the address only. And I find the information because it is really very easy to find the information. And so I go through Fast People Search, I go through RPR, I get their name, I get the number, I get the email, and I try to, if I get an email with AOL.com and I get an email with gmail.com, I usually go to the gmail.com because most people don't use AOL. So that's just one way I determine whether their email is current. I have better luck with the Gmail than I do. If somebody just have AOL, that's fine. That's probably the one they use. And I do send cards in the mail, and I send Starbucks card. I started doing that. I haven't gotten any response from that, but I'm like, I'm gonna follow up with them in a couple of weeks, just to check out, hey, did you get my card? Just introduce myself. My partner and I are thinking of door knocking. I hate door knocking, by the way. So um, I told him we could actually order the door knockers and just hang them on your door, but we're gonna physically knock. So that's pushing me out there. Not that I hate, I don't mind doing what I got to do. I don't mind grinding. I just don't like door knocking. But I have a lot of leads, and I am in Tampa. And so a lot of the leads that I am getting are just curious. There are people that have just bought and they just want to know, hey, I bought my house yesterday. How much is worth today, kind of thing. But I know it's going to turn around because I am really just nurturing the leads. I have had a lot of responses from people who are really impressed with the communication. I send them videos. I text them videos all the time. If I get a phone number, I am physically making a video right there, and I am texting them, hey, this is just that I just got your inquiry on Facebook about your home, and I just wanted to know I am on the road right now, but I will get to it as soon as I can. Just kind of be personal. And I've had a lot of people just respond to how much they like that, and if they're thinking of selling, they would reach back out to me. But even with that, I go with that because I keep sending them texts, I send them email, I put them in my CRM, I friend them on Facebook, and stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying street text. Just want to say that.
That's amazing. That's above and beyond right there. I mean, do you guys see that? So Josette, are you using BombBomb to send text video messages?
I do. I use BombBomb. It depends on the device I have in my hand at the moment.
Sure.
If I have my cell phone, I just record a video right there. If I'm sitting at my laptop, then I use the video that I already have in BombBomb. And it just depends on the house too. Okay. If it's a dingy old house, then I'll send, but if it's like I feel like it's an upscale house, you're not supposed to be prejudiced. I'm not, but I'm just saying, I will, if it's a house and I did the CMA and it's like in the $500,000 range, they're getting a gift card. I go to send out cards and I send them a professional looking card because I do use send out cards as well. So I'll go to send out cards and send them a professional looking card with a gift card, or with send out cards, you can attach a gift like brownies, or if they're cat people or dog people or whatever people, you can, customize the gift, stuff like that. So I do that. And I've had people call me just really thanking me for that and really appreciate it and say, hey, when I'm ready to list, you're it, kind of things like that. So I can see that it is going to, I think my market, the way it is, you have to really work the leads a lot. You do. You have to really work them because I live in Florida, I live in Tampa. A lot of people are not, most people are moving here. They're not really selling and moving away kind of thing. So I am focusing on new construction right now as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, the cool thing is what you're doing is you're becoming an influencer. So that it's based on what I'm seeing is like, I think the key takeaway on the top of funnel marketing that we are all doing here at Street Text is understanding that the biggest win is going to be coming in the years to come. And it's sometimes hard to look at it this way because we all need the business today. But if you look even with Donna, who's done 120 deals, her biggest wins have been recently. I mean, and the last year alone, more than half of those transactions. And so if you can imagine, it's because of the groundwork she laid down in the beginning, right? It was a result of her committing to her time block, which if you guys don't have a time block in your schedule right now to respond to street text leads, or at least to work on this portion of your business, I really encourage you that, because that's consistency of your time blocking. I guarantee you will provide results, and you'll be able to reflect and review if the results you're getting right now are ones that are working or not. So, I mean, obviously, if you're not reflecting and reviewing the results you're getting and no one's responding to you, then something needs to change, right? I think that's a key takeaway. It's like, oh, well, talk to me. Like, what are you doing? How are you getting in front of these people? I think the key is, if they don't have a way of, if you don't have a way of personally leaving behind your brand, your personality, doing what Josette's doing, sending video, sending email, leaving a coffee card, all these little things are key ways she's creating influence over these people. And then she's sending them a friend request and inviting them into her sphere. I think that's the takeaway you got to look at. If you don't do something like that, then again, I always go back to the idea of, then you're just basically going to Vegas, pulling the slot machines and hoping for a win. And you're going to get the occasional person that says, come list me, but it's not going to be the type of results you're going to really be happy about. Makes sense?
Yeah, if I may add on, I think for me, it's a matter of how bad you want it. If I may share a quick little anecdote for myself personally, when I first got into real estate, there was no social media like there is now. People weren't showing up on social media and giving me their information. I had to go out and find it, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys were probably doing the exact same thing before social media came along. And just to kind of share some of the things that I used to have to do. I mean, there's the odd crazy person that loves door knocking. Sean, that might be you. We find people who actually quite enjoy it. Me personally, I hated it, but it was an essential part of my business, so I did it. You get a lot of rejection. You got to grow some thick skin. It's going to happen. I made a lot of business, made a decent amount of money from simple door knocking activities. A couple ways that I used to enhance my exposure. I used to pay some local school kids. I'd pay them in candy or whatever they want really, but to go and flyer an area for me. So before the week before I would actually go door knock an area, I'd go and get them to quickly go and hang my little flyers, which had my information, call up, whatever, but it basically would say a real estate professional is going to be coming through your area answering questions next week, Monday to Thursday, between the hours of whatever it was, 11 and 4, whatever I was planning on. So even if I didn't get a lot of phone calls from those door hangers, when I showed up, I just found that people were less caught off guard. They were almost expecting me to show up in their area. And if they didn't answer their door, I could tell a lot of people were home and they were not interested. They didn't answer the door because they knew that it was me. And that's fine. That's not a problem at all. It limited my rejection a little bit, which was kind of nice. But it also, there was a lot of people who just genuinely had good questions. And I listed a ton of properties from doing that. It cost a little extra money to do that, but it worked really well. Another thing is, and a bunch of my clients have told you this already, I used to pay a $10,000 annual fee to a local golf club here. Not a very good golfer. However, for me to get into a different category of listings, I wanted to get from the $500,000 to $600,000 listings into the $1 million listings. And how do you do that? Well, you meet the people who own those properties. You have to find them though. Right. So for me, I went and I'd hang out happy hour, every, Wednesday and Friday at the golf club bar just to sit around and meet people. And it worked very well. Another thing, you have to be ready to deal with things a little bit outside of your comfort zone. For me, I like to joke around a little bit. So I used to use they're kind of cheesy little sales lines sometimes just to get a reaction from people. So I used to use seasonal gifts and things like I would go to the dollar store and pick up a whole bunch of ice cream scoops, just $1 plastic little ice cream scoops. I'd attach my card on it and I'd say something like, get the inside scoop in real estate. And, 75% of people would look at that and go like, that is ridiculous. But they're not my clients. 25% of those people would look at that and say, that's hilarious. And I'd get a call on that. Even if they're not ready to list, I'd get a call on that. And do I care about the 75%? Not at all. If I send out 100 of those at $1 a pop, that costs me $100. Obviously, if I got 25 of those people at least call me to continue a conversation, I can almost guarantee I turn 5 of those into sales almost every time. So for me, it's how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? And every single thing that you try, note it. Take notes on everything. And I can't stress that enough. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already doing that, but you're going to come up to us. You'll tried something new for a few months and all of a sudden things are working. Right? If you don't have exactly what activity you did with each of those individuals, how do you know what it was that brought you across that line? Note everything and try new things. And that's the reason for these groups, once again, is here's some of these ideas. You're going to hear a lot of stuff that you guys don't like, but you're going to hear a lot of things that say, you know, that resonates with me. Go out and try it, and then report back and let us know how it's working. And you know, as a team, as a group, we'll all grow and win together.
That's well said. I mean, so questions like, are there people that have success without door knocking? I mean, majority of you don't door knock. I'll tell you that straight up. I know that for a fact based on our conversation. So there's that. And then on the opposite end of the side, I know somebody who's done 9 transactions without ever putting herself in front of a camera. And essentially her takeaway is, my process is a complimentary walkthrough of your home. And a home, it only takes 15 minutes and I live in the area. Here are 3 times I have available. That's it. And she's got 9 deals that way. So, I mean, I guess it comes down to defining your process and communicating who you are and how you're going to get them that information. So it's not all about, and you know, Dawn, on the other hand, she gets a home value in everyone's hands. So I guess you got to ultimately define what you're going to do and then measure it based on the success behind it. And it's all obviously about how you want to systemize it and time blocking your schedule and how much time you're willing to put into it. That's what it comes down to. I mean, some of you were spending 2 to 3 hours. Some of you, like Richard was talking about, he has a little kid on the way. He's willing to spend more time and get in front of these people because he's got that big why. He's got a small kid he's about to try to raise and bring into this world. If your why is not big enough, you might look at this as just a small investment. You know, what's $5 grand over the course of the year? If I'm getting 1 deal, I got my recoup on my investment. I'm just going to do the littlest amount of that I can do. Some of you want a lot more ROI, so you're going to be willing to put more information and work towards it. It all comes down to what you're wanting to do with it. I mean, for me, the way I look at it is, if you're not creating an influencer model and you're not bringing them back to your personal Facebook, which is why I say, like, why not use the free aspect of Facebook Messenger? It's free. Why not profile them if you can pull up their tax records and just have a conversation? You can use the whole script. Hey, it might not have been the homeowner who actually clicked on that. It might have been a renter or a buyer, but you always get back to the homeowner. It's a complimentary service. I just wanted to introduce myself and offer you my service. Right? Oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to send you something in the mail as well. That's all. I mean, that's what it comes down to, guys. Leon, I'm going to pick on you, buddy. How's it going?
You can pick them all day long. It's been hectic. I had the Apple meltdown last week because the updates they put out just changed everything in my phone, and I was just so pissed off. I almost bought an Android. But one of my guys on my team was, oh, you already know it, man. One of the guys on my team was actually in Toronto last week doing training, so I didn't get to do some of the things I wanted to do, and I was laughing because I was talking to you earlier. I just finished updating my Bomb stuff to the new logos and all that. So Saturday, 3 of us are sitting down and going to start hitting them. I was looking yesterday, as of yesterday, I had 180 leads in a 30-day period. I've had good response coming back. I'm still wrapping my head around just, using your guys' system, not dumping them into my other one and letting it run. But one of the nice things I noticed was I was actually really pleasantly surprised how many phone numbers I actually have with the majority of the ones that came across. So we are going to sit down and we're doing, my production manager, myself, and one of my buyer agents are going to be banging the phones away this weekend, calling these guys up and then sending text messages as well. And I'm going to be driving them to my website for the valuation page and really pressing hard on the Facebook thing. And we're encouraging them to visit back to the business page because we just tell them there's always updates going on. I was kind of noticing something strange, and it's not a street text thing, it's a Google thing. Several of the displays that came up when I got the valuations or curious requests, whatever, actually had the house on the opposite side of the street. So my caution to everybody is you might want to make sure, because you can just zoom up and make sure the house matches. If you're not I actually pull everything up. I use Bing because it usually gives me the picture, and it'll give me Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com, and I'm making sure the house matches what I'm looking at, because there's nothing worse than you doing something on the house, and the house across the street was a 3-car garage instead of 2, or something that puts your foot in your mouth before you even meet people. So I just caution you to make sure that don't take a face at face value or picture at picture value without checking to ensure that that actually is it first. And I'm actually throwing out there that I have a couple more questions in regards to make sure as far as updates, upgrades, or remodels, and they're really hitting it. And then the other thing I'm doing on the sellers is I just go ahead and quick question, what is it about your home that made you like it so much that made you want to buy it? And I had somebody go, I've never ever had anyone ask me that before. And I said, well, you know, in marketing, I'm looking for a buyer like you. And they just like that personal thing. It's just getting that engagement.
Do that again. What is it about your home?
Okay, I said, what is it about you? I said, well, I said, you know, I got a question I'd like to ask you. I go, what is it about your home that made you buy it, that made you like it that much that you wanted to buy it? And I see what it is that, you know, when they say that, I go, okay, I said, because what it is, I'm looking for a buyer like you. Because, you know, that's the type of person that's going to come and buy your home as well. And I had a lady tell me, she said, she talked to several realtors, so I've never had anyone ask me that before. But, you know, we forget that we need to get a little more personal with it, and it's about them. And so you have to go off what it is that appeals to them, that made them want something to kind of get that closer engagement. They want to know that you're in touch. I had a listing I picked up the other week because the people go, no, you know what? After we talk to you, we don't want to talk to anyone else because you just seem like you fit us. And I was laughing. I have a 6 o'clock listing appointment tonight. I've got a military niche, and just had asked them, you know, well, what are you looking to do? Where are you going? So I have a listing appointment tonight at 6, and it's funny because they're moving to Indiana. So I'm going to get a referral because they're not working with a realtor there. So the other side of that is, remember, your business goes in more direction. Just because they're leaving the area doesn't mean that you can't benefit or find a way to, you know, get additional income from it because they're still a client. And like in this case, when you turn around and send them somewhere, I have lenders that a lot of times, if they're USA, Bank of America, this or that, I get them qualified here because with the lender here, that means I got someone else keeping touch and keeping track on them for me so that that check still shows up down the road when they buy a house.
Yeah, I think that's genius. I mean, if you think of it, we've become their friend, right? I mean, when you're dealing with somebody on this end, they're trusting us for more than just one reason. Of course, we've developed a relationship with them. So, I mean, on one side, we want to gain from that relationship, and we also legitimately want to help our clients. And if we have some connections and we can make new inroads, I mean, why not, right? We know somebody's moving to a new place. Let's do a little bit of investigation. You're not just going to necessarily send them to any random person, but I'm sure you guys are all part of groups. Obviously, you have your Street Text family to lean on. If you have an agent moving to, or a client moving to another area, go to the Street Text Academy or the Insider Group real quick and just say, hey, looking for agents in such and such area. You now know that you've likely found somebody who is familiar and potentially like-minded. Right? We are a big happy family. That's kind of what we're trying to do here. So you've built a referral network with us here. And also, if you don't have somebody within the Street Text community, of course, do a little bit of research and find a little bit of information out for them. You don't just send them blindly, but you research the area they're moving to. Send them some community pages. Send them, be that person who does a little extra for your clients. And the referrals you'll get back from it are incredible. While you will be able to hopefully get a referral for that place they're heading, just think of the goodwill you're doing for that with that individual as well. You're going that extra mile that a lot of people don't, and it certainly will pay itself back.
F.Y. Taylor, go ahead. Can you hear us? Maybe the audible doesn't work. All right. Well, we'll fix that technology next time around. Anyone else? This is the last few minutes here, so feel free to chime in. I know Renee, if you can unmute yourself, she got a listing appointment from door knocking, which is a cool opportunity, cool story that she made from herself. If we can't hear you, no big deal, but this is your time to tell us. And got a few more minutes, and you just time to ask questions. If you guys, this is a dialogue. Unmute yourself and go for it.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys.
Okay.
Go ahead. One of you were about to go. Just go for it.
Hey guys, it's RJ. I'm here in Maryland, and I just signed up with Street Text last night, and was really impressed with my trial. So I actually have 2 listings that I received from my trial period that are going active this month. I got my second one signed up last night, and between the 2, it's about $20,000 in commissions that I wouldn't have had otherwise without this system and me working it. And so what I've been doing, as soon as I started, we started with the seller ad, and I am sending out RPR reports via email, and I'm dropping them off with my customized letter and folder. And in a lot of those cases, I think I've sent out, probably close to 40. And with my drop-bys, I've actually had some serious conversations. And just from my trial period, like I said, I have the 2 listings that are hitting this month that I'm also nurturing a couple more that I'll probably end up securing here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So it's not just the short game, it's the long game as well with this. So I'm really excited to get started. I've got a conference call with Marcus a little bit later on today. And I'm really, really excited to add this piece to my business, because the 95% of my business is referral based. So this is a really nice secondary lead source that I'm looking forward to jumping in and getting the ball rolling.
Thanks for
So
sharing.
that's my story. Yeah.
That's 20 grand. That's going to pay off your system and then some for a while. Hey, another thing, you guys, don't forget that where we're heading is retargeting all your leads with video newsletters. So you're going to start wanting to get proficient in getting in front of the camera like you are now. It doesn't matter what it is and how awkward it feels. I think at the end of the day, we just need to follow them. You know how you have ads follow you everywhere? We need to follow them with our face, with our personality. And there's no better way to do that than, the way I look at it is this. If you spend the time now with every single lead to come in, to profile them and send them a quick message and drop them into a list, as I tell you guys over and over again, you've done your job. No matter what happens, they're always going to stay in that list. Let's call it seller leads. Let's call it address only leads. Let's call it the just curious leads. Create multiple lists, because they could be in all of those lists. But at the end of the day, only a certain amount of them are going to accept your request. But a lot of them are going to stay in that list. And there's no better way to track that conversation, because next time you go to send Facebook message to that person, you're going to see the last conversation you had with them. And then you could now follow up with an updated CMA or give them, try to get the conversation started again. So on top of what your automation is going to do, why not just quickly spend the extra 30 seconds to a minute to do that and just become an influencer of your personal Facebook as well? Just something I really want you to get, because I don't hear any of you talking about what you're doing with your Facebook personally. I hear everything else, but I'm still not hearing what you guys are doing with your personal Facebook, which is something that you're just missing some huge potential with. Make sense, guys? Yeah. So when you're nodding, I want to hear about what's happening with that. I want to hear the actual messages you're having back and forth on Facebook when sending the friend requests and, dropping them into that list, because that right there, you should be purging yourself of anybody on your personal Facebook that is not working for you. Look, Marty, you just shared your screen. Is that something you wanted to see?
Hang on. I tried to share the content. I didn't know I was going to take over the screen, so sorry. But I created this for my address only, so I wanted to share it with the group.
Oh, cool. That's really awesome. I like it.
So I tri-fold it, and I handwrite their name on the outside, no return address on the outside, and just mail it with a number, and then I follow it up with a postcard or 2.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. What a great way. And I always think too, like if you are to door knock perhaps in the future, do it after you've sent something of value with your picture, and even hint in there, like Logan and I were talking about that, hey, I may be dropping by next week and I'll be in the neighborhood, and just to introduce myself and make sure you got the report and you like what you saw. Like you may even put that in so they know that you're coming. So why not start with value? And then when you door knock, they already know what's happening. Just a thought.
That makes sense to me. In my community, it's really small, and we have a Facebook community group where there's more than half of the town is on that group. I mean, literally 3/4 of the population is on that group. And if somebody comes to your door, it's instantly posted on that group. Watch out, there's sales whatever on such and such street at this time. I mean, so that was my concern with door knocking, is I don't want to be named, you know, the stigma. I don't mind going up to somebody's door and meeting them. I just am concerned about how to deal with that, I guess.
Totally. I mean, work within your strengths too. I think, you know, I was the guy that came on here earlier and shared a screen, and then we lost him, Peter. He's like in his 70s. And the technology thing was way over his head for him. But you know what? The guy lived in the age and era where everything was a handshake. And so, you know, he's working in an area, Laguna Niguel, where the leads are hard to come by, especially the full submission ones. I mean, no matter what we do in tweaking his funnels, that's just a competitive marketplace on Facebook. So if he's going to play within his strengths, he's going to come up and show up and introduce himself. Who's going to not have a conversation with a man in his 70s at the door? You're just going to feel like it's that respect due to him, right? So I think it's important to play within your strengths and figure out what that is for you. And that's going to be the one takeaway that we can take from here. Is like there's all these different ways to do it, but what is the thing that you do well in real estate, and capitalize on that. All right, guys, it's going to past the hour. So Sean says, one of my next steps is interacting with sellers, is setting up an automated email from our MLS database to monitor the neighborhood future competition regarding timing to list. Hey, anything that you want to share, or anything you want us to talk about next week, go into the insider group and start posting. Like the great stuff, Marty, you have, upload it to the Facebook insider group. Because if you guys might know this, just by searching in the insider group and just typing in address only, you'll have multiple uploads that you can go in there. There's a file section, there's a photo section. So the more content that we share in there, the more resources we'll be able to see which was working, what's not working, and hear the success stories as well. Okay,
is
guys.
Everybody here in the insider group? If you're not in the insider group yet, if you don't mind just quickly putting your name in the chat feature to the side. Obviously, if there are still people here in trial, you won't be part of the insider group quite yet, but anybody who is a full client of ours, we want to make sure that we get you in that group right away. So if you're not in the insider group, or you have no idea what we're talking about, then please write your name real quick in the chat feature before we shut this meeting down.
Awesome, and I'll put the link right here. There you go. So Renee just said, I have now 3 listing appointments via Julie. She's my new BFF. You guys have Julie activated? You better, because she is an automated assistant. And by the way, hope you know, you can actually customize the autoresponders. If you don't want Julie saying what she's saying, you don't have to have it there. But the whole idea with Julie is she texts those leads within the first 3 minutes, and then continues texting the leads up until they respond. Once they respond, it's up to you to take the conversation over. So make sure you know that. Once you take the conversation over, now use basic winning friends and influencing people psychology to continue the conversation. Don't go straight for the throat. That's not a good thing to do, right? I think it's like less is more, value, questions, uncover, right? Remember, top of funnel marketing. You got to come, if you're going to work this really well, come from a place of contribution first and uncover their true motivation. The more questions you ask, the more you'll get to it. Sound good, guys? All right. We'll have a phenomenal day. We have another meeting coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Message us on Facebook if you want it. That's really more about just tapping into the right funnel and ad. If you don't feel like you have a good lead flow working right now, and split testing appropriately. And then tomorrow, we always have a 9 a.m., noon, and 11 a.m., 2 p.m. for you Eastern folks as well. So every single day, there's an opportunity to come back and work with Logan and I, but it's going to have to be on our terms. Just joking. Send us a message on Facebook. Have a great day, guys.
Hey, real quick, Marcus.
Yeah.
Before I'm driving, so I can't do it. And I sent Logan one. Yesterday, my thing started saying that I had no insights for the last 6 hours. Shut off the ads, restarted them. They wouldn't restart. I know Facebook, we had some change in their algorithm or something they did yesterday. So I don't know if that was a player as well. When you guys get a chance, could you peek at it? And then if it's something impacting everybody or just me, let me know what it is, because I need to restart my ads.
Yeah, so anytime you go to that, if you can't shut it off, right, there's an ad and you can't shut it off, it just goes like, you try to shut off and it just doesn't shut off. That means it was disrupted by Facebook and it won't be running anymore. So and anytime that happens, obviously reference back to your ads manager as well. But I just say run and create a brand new funnel and launch it. That's the only
just the same exact one.
The same exact one until if there's a way to bring it back on, we'll bring it back on. But sometimes Facebook just disrupts the ad and the funnel, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, and that's why I just wanted you guys to look at that before. So next week when we come in, you can let everybody know if that's what it was. But it's just, I didn't know if the algorithm changed what they did yesterday or whatever, or just something where they spammed my ad for it or whatever. But because that was actually a really good performing ad.
Hey, Leon, did you get an email associated with that from Facebook letting you know that Facebook has turfed it? So then it's probably not that, and it won't be anything to do with the algorithm shifting or anything like that. So we'll go through your account. Obviously, we'd just be simply spitballing and speculating at this point, but I'll comb through your account real quick here myself and just see if there's anything that pops up that's peculiar. Every so often Facebook does interesting things where, that's kind of why the guys are at the F8 conference right now, is we're always trying to learn what's happening, what's coming next, all those kind of things. So we'll look into your account. We'll see what's kind of happening, and either Marcus or myself will be able to update you ASAP as to what we find.
Yeah, and the reason, and I didn't want to mess with it too much, because if there's something there that could be seen that's going on, I'd wanted the group to be able to at least know too, so if they're sitting there in the middle of the night and something happens, they're aware of what really is going on.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, that's kind of one of the other purposes of the insider group as well, is if you ever do see something like that, you can post it. Most likely either Marcus, myself, somebody within our development team, support, Isaac, somebody here will have figured out if there is an issue, and then we'll have a response there so everybody can see here's what Leon experienced, here's what we found. Anybody else who sees something similar knows exactly what's going on and how to have it rectified. Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I'll start making use of that.
Awesome, guys. Hey, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, message us personally on Facebook. We cannot stress enough that we do everything on Facebook Messenger these days, because we want you to learn how to do the same. So yeah, get to the conversations too. And my challenge to you is, again, profile every single person you can on Facebook, send them a friend request, drop them into a list, and play the game. I mean, the best thing you can do is get in front of them and continue to get in front of them. We're going to do that with the automation. We're going to do that with the SMS. We're going to do it with the embedding. We're going to do it with the personal video follow-ups. We're going to do it with the mailers. We're just going to make our brand so prevalent. And that know and like begins first, and then the trust happens after that. And we got to make sure we're developing that model. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk soon.